Okay, guys. We are going to go over what needs to be submitted today, as well as an introduction to the Civil War. Going down here to, I've already went over on another video your layer one. Again, there's going to be 3 layers for this Google My Map Civil War unit, but this is just layer one. Don't forget to answer these questions, please. I am going to ask this to be submitted at some point. Here, slide 6 is a really good resource that the triggered events for the Civil War. If you just click on this link, you will get a lot of things that we are going to go over in this online learning experience. And they kind of go in order, too. The Missouri Compromise, Nat Turner's Rebellion, the Compromise of 1850, and goes all the way down to the first battle of the Civil War, which is Fort Sumter, 1861. So this is a good resource. Please make sure that you are using that slide and that link throughout the unit. All right, going down here, this is what needs to be submitted on Wednesday. So don't forget, Wednesday the 1st, April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. Make sure that you submit slide 7, slide 12, and slide 15 need to be submitted on Wednesday. To get slide 7 done, don't forget to click on these little links here, and it will give you the geographic features of the North. Please read through that. Give me the economy. How did they make money in the North? The geography of the West. What did the West look like? What did the economy of the West look like? How did they make money in the West? There were in the North, slavery was illegal. Okay, so make sure you read through these little links and give me a quick little sentence, a quick little note on the African Americans in the North. Give me a quick little synopsis on, from clicking this link, the enslaved persons in the South. The economy in the South, how did they make money? We've already been over this a lot. You should know how they made money there. What did the geography look like? You live in the South, so you should know what the geography of the South look like. Also, add pictures to this chart as well too. Just kind of make a collage around here, or if you can, put them real small around these little boxes here. What is sectionalism? This is from Unit 9. You might need to go back to Unit 9 Spiral and get a real quick definition of what sectionalism is. Going down here, the first cause to the Civil War is going to be something that we've already been over underneath James Monroe's presidency, which is the Missouri Compromise. Remember how a state becomes a state. This is the Northwest Ordinance, how states become states. Remember, you have 5,000 people living there. You can elect a government body. If you have 60,000 people living in those areas, you can apply for statehood. Well, there's a lot of people living in Missouri now. And so the issue is they want to become a state, but the issue is, should they be a slave state or should they be a free state? At this time, everything supposed to be above the Ohio River, which is right here. The Ohio River is supposed to be free. There is no slavery allowed. Everything below the Ohio River were slave states. The slavery was legal in those areas. So they had a decision to make about what they should do with Missouri, because if you make Missouri a slave or a free state, it could unbalance the power of slave and free states in the Senate, in Congress. So we've already been over this. They made the compromise, came up with Henry Clay. Then came Clay to solve the disputes. His compromises cooled many hot feuds. Henry Clay came in and he made a compromise and said, why don't we make Missouri a slave state, but no slavery was allowed north of the 3630 line except for Missouri. Only Missouri was allowed to have slavery. Please remember that line, 3630. And we'll make that a slave state. And then we'll make Maine, which was formerly Massachusetts, we'll make this area up here a state, but we'll make it a free state. So the Missouri and Maine came in at the same time. One is a free state and one is a slave state. Go down here, there are an equal number of senators representing slave and free states in Congress. They need to have a balancing of votes, otherwise you'd have a lot of conflict. So this is Clay coming to the rescue. Adding another slave state would change the balance of the power in the Senate, and so a compromise is needed. Watch this quick video. I have embedded this in Canvas. Make sure you have that watched. This, I don't think there's any words in here. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Just watch the illustration on the explanation of the Missouri Compromise. Here are some of the provisions that we're going to go over here in a second on the next slide, but I already went over this just a few minutes ago. But the north of the line of the 3630 would be free, and the underneath the 3630 would be obviously a slave state. Here are the provisions, 3 provisions. Missouri enters as a slave state. Maine enters as a free state. This drew the Missouri Compromise line. To the north, slavery was banned of the 3630, and to the south, it was permitted. It was allowed. This maintained the balance of free and slave states and state representation in Congress, in the Senate and the House. And now everyone is happy. Everyone is satisfied for now. Please fill out this cause number 1. You see this in red. This needs to be submitted in Canvas when you are finished. Please do the 3 provisions found on this slide right here. Find a map of the Missouri Compromise and put it here. You can find it on Google. You can find it on my slides, whatever you would like to do. And place a picture. Oh, we used to do a 1-pager on the Missouri Compromise. Please go ahead and disregard this for now. Please disregard this slide for now. All right, abolitionist movement. This is the second cause. We've already been over this with the reform movement. The reformers, here they are. The abolitionists was a reform movement coming into making sure that they abolish slavery. The abolitionists speak out. Remember, the Second Great Awakening and the Transcendentalist movement open up many people's eyes to the evils of slavery. I know the Transcendentalists and the Second Great Awakening are opposite groups, but they both had something in common in that they opened up people's eyes to the evils of slavery. Buying and selling of people obviously is morally an ethical issue and wrong. People known as abolitionists began to demand an end to slavery. Examples of harsh treatments were printed in newspapers and books and pictures as well too, to convince people that slavery was wrong. They didn't just want to talk about it, they wanted people to read about it and see it and hear about it. They also did speeches as well too. Abolitionists began pressure to pressure the government for an end to slavery in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So please use this slide right here to answer these 4 questions. Fill in those quick little notes. Find an example, an image that represents the abolitionist movement, and find one more image that represents the abolitionist movement. Try not to use these images that I have provided for you. Try to use other images if you can. This is cause number 2. Please put a date here. You might need to do a little bit of a Google search on the abolitionist movement, when it started and then when it continued throughout the Civil War. This is a long movement. This movement lasted a long time. That's so you're going to have a date. You're going to have 2 dates that give an approximate range of the abolitionist movement. Okay, that is cause number 2. So please make sure that you get those notes finished and get those submitted into Canvas as quickly as possible once you are finished. This is slide 15, slide 12, and then slide 7 need to be submitted into Canvas with multiple uploads. On Thursday, I'm going to start going over some of these other issues. These are more abolitionists with the William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass and the North Star. I'm going to go over these as well too with you, and then we're going to get into some other issues as well too that that have caused that were causes to the Civil War. So these are the first two causes: the Missouri Compromise and the abolitionist movement. Any questions? Please come see me at the Google Hangout 11 to 12 or 3 to 4. You guys take care. Hopefully this was a good lesson for you. Get those submitted in the Canvas. Talk to you soon.